The courtroom went silent. The judge lifted the contract. Her eyes moved across the page. Then she read aloud, "Annual recurring revenue of $12.4 million. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Across the aisle, my father's face drained of color. The same man who called my business a cute little hobby. The same man who told me to get a real job. The same man who was now suing me for 30% of everything I built." His lawyer stopped shuffling papers. "How did we get here? What do you do when the person who is supposed to believe in you becomes the one trying to destroy you? Before we go further, drop a comment. Where are you watching from and what time is it? Hit like if you've ever been underestimated by someone who should have had your back." Let me take you back to where this started. My dad had a plan for my life. Finance, maybe law. Something respectable. Something with a title he could brag about at the country club. I had a different plan. I loved building things. Code, systems, solutions. After college, I started freelancing. Nights and weekends while I worked a dead-end marketing job. I built a software tool for small e-commerce brands. Inventory tracking, customer analytics, automated reorder alerts. Dad's response? "You're playing on the computer." I moved into a 400-square-foot studio to cut costs. 80-hour weeks. Coffee for dinner. My first enterprise client signed when I was 26. $15,000 a year. It felt like $1 million. I called Dad. "That's nice," he said. "But when are you going to get a real job?" "Not congratulations. Not proud of you. Just disappointment." I kept going. Year 2, I hit $500,000 in revenue. Year 3, I brought on a co-founder and formalized the C Corp. Every milestone I'd reach out. Every time, same response. "Let me know when you have benefits." Here's the thing. I saved everything. Every email. Every text. Every voicemail. I'm obsessive that way. I thought one day he'd be proud. I was wrong. Dead wrong. Year 3. Revenue just crossed 7 figures. My phone rang. "Dad, we hadn't spoken in 4 months. Hey, kiddo. Been thinking about you." Kiddo. He hadn't called me that since I was 12. "I've been watching what you're doing with that company. Really impressive." I waited. "You know, I've been thinking. You used a lot of my advice to build that. All those conversations we had about business. I gave you the foundation." I reminded him we didn't have those conversations. He told me to quit. He laughed. "Well, moral support. Raising you? Giving you a roof. That's an investment, right?" Then the shift. "I think I deserve a stake. Family invests in family. It's only fair." My stomach dropped. "Dad, you didn't invest. I asked you for $10,000 in seed money and you said no." Silence. "I gave you wisdom. I gave you life. I'm entitled to 30%. Let's make it official. Draw up the paperwork." "I'm not doing that." His voice went cold. "You've got 2 weeks to bring me something in writing, or I'll take other steps." He hung up. I sat there shaking. Other steps? I was about to find out. 10 days later, a certified letter arrived. From a law firm. 3 pages. My father was suing me. The complaint claimed verbal partnership agreement. Unjust enrichment. Sweat equity through mentorship and guidance. He wanted forensic accounting, access to my cap table, and a formal 30% equity stake. I called my attorney. She read it over the phone. "It's weak. Frivolous, honestly. But it's going to be expensive to fight. Discovery alone could cost you $40,000. 2 days later, 2 enterprise clients called. "We saw the lawsuit. We can't sign new contracts while you're in active litigation. Legal won't allow it." My revenue pipeline stalled. Deals I'd spent 6 months building just evaporated. Investor meetings turned cold. "You need to resolve this. We can't close a funding round with a family lawsuit hanging over the cap table." I was bleeding opportunity costs. Hemorrhaging momentum. For a moment, I thought about settling. Writing him a check just to make it disappear. But I had records. Every single one. I'd kept everything. And I mean everything. I opened my cloud drive. There's a folder I keep. Documents, contracts, filings. I pulled the Delaware Certificate of Incorporation. Filed when I was 27. Sole proprietor converted to C Corp. 1 officer. 1 shareholder. Me. I scrolled down. Dad's name? Nowhere. Not on the articles. Not on the bylaws. Not on a single bank signature card. I opened the operating agreement I'd signed with my co-founder when he joined in year 2. 80-20 split. 2 names. Mine and his. Dad wasn't even listed as an advisor. I sent everything to my attorney in a single PDF. 14 pages. She called me back in 20 minutes. This is airtight. He has 0 standing, no capital contribution, no documented agreement, no equity grant, nothing. I felt something shift. So we can win? We can win fast. This shouldn't even make it past summary judgment. I exhaled for the first time in 2 weeks. But that was just the beginning. Dad wasn't backing down. Not even close. 2 weeks later, Dad's lawyer filed an amended complaint. New legal theory. Now he claimed implied oral contract. That family dinners where I mentioned the business constituted strategic consulting sessions. That he provided sweat equity in the form of mentorship. It was absurd. But it was also expensive to refute. Worse, Dad started talking. He called my uncle, my aunt. Cousins I hadn't seen in years. His story? I was cutting him out after he built the foundation for my success. That I was ungrateful, greedy. My uncle called me. Your dad says you owe him. He says he's the reason you have anything. Family doesn't do this. I tried to explain. He didn't want to hear it. At a family reunion, I walked into a room and conversation stopped. The smear campaign was working. Then Dad's attorney filed for expedited discovery. They wanted 3 years of financial records. Every email. Every transaction. Every client contract. It was a tactic. Bury me in legal costs before we ever got to trial. My legal bills hit $40,000 in 2 months. An investor meeting I'd been working toward for a year fell apart. Resolve this or we're walking. I had 7 days until the preliminary hearing. Time to show my hand. I opened the email folder labeled Dad. Years of messages. I found the one I was looking for. Subject line, loan request, $10,000 seed capital. I'd sent it in year 1. Attached my pitch deck. Projected revenue. Customer testimonials. Professional. Respectful. Dad's reply came 6 hours later. 1 line. This is a hobby. I'm not funding a fantasy. Get serious about your career. No discussion, no advice. Just dismissal. I scrolled further. Text messages from year 2. Right after I hit $500,000 in revenue. Me, we're scaling, Dad. 15 new clients this quarter. Him, let me know when you get a real job with benefits. Year 3. 7 figures. Me, signed a partnership with a Fortune 500 company. Him, read receipt. No reply. Screenshot after screenshot. No mentorship. No guidance. Only mockery. I compiled them into a single exhibit. Sent it to my attorney. Her response was 2 words. He's done. Now I understood. This was never about partnership. It was about control. I couldn't let it go. Why now? Why, after 3 years of silence, did he suddenly care? I did some digging. Public records. County recorder. Business filings. And there it was. Dad's commercial real estate venture. The one he'd been bragging about for 5 years. 3 properties. All leveraged. He'd borrowed against everyone. The market turned. Tenants left. Rents dropped. Banks called the loans. Foreclosure notices. All 3 properties. Deficiency judgment. $890,000. I looked at the dates. Foreclosure notice filed on March 10th. Dad's attorney sent his demand letter on March 17th. 1 week apart. He wasn't suing me because he believed he deserved equity. He was suing me because he was broke. He needed a bailout. And he needed me to look like the villain so the family wouldn't know he'd gambled everything and lost. I sat back. Not angry, not hurt. Just clear. He was desperate. And desperate people make mistakes. Now I knew exactly what to do. I called my attorney. I want to file for summary judgment. I want a hearing. Public record. She paused. Settlement would be faster, quieter. You could close this tomorrow for $20,000 and a mutual NDA. I don't want quiet. Then we go loud. We started building the package. Incorporation documents, operating agreement. Bank records showing 0 contributions from Dad. The email. The texts. Timeline of his foreclosure and the lawsuit filing. 43 pages. Every receipt. Then I did one more thing. I pulled my newest contract. The one I'd signed 2 weeks before the lawsuit. Enterprise client. 3-year term. Annual recurring revenue, $12.4 million. The deal Dad said I'd never close because I wasn't corporate enough. Because I didn't have a real job. I added it to the exhibit list. My attorney looked at the file. This is overkill. She smiled. I love it. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just felt calm. Let him laugh now. The hearing was set for Thursday. 9 a.m. I didn't sleep the night before. Courtroom 4B. My father walked in wearing a tailored navy suit. Confident. Almost smug. He didn't look at me. His attorney stood. Your Honor, this is a straightforward case of family obligation. The plaintiff provided years of guidance, strategic counsel, and moral support that directly contributed to the defendant's success. We're simply asking for equitable recognition. The judge looked up. I've read the filings. Let's see evidence of this partnership. Dad's lawyer cleared his throat. We have testimony. Documented family gatherings where business was discussed. Do you have a written agreement? No, but capital contribution? Not in the traditional sense. Equity grant? Board seat? Consulting contract? Silence. Anything in writing at all? Your Honor, not everything in a family business is formalized on paper. The judge's expression didn't change. Counselor, this is a Delaware C Corp, not a lemonade stand. Show me documents or sit down. My attorney stood. Your Honor, we have documents. The projector came on. First image. Certificate of incorporation. One name, mine, second image. Operating agreement. 2 shareholders. Neither one was Dad. Third image, email, subject, loan request, $10,000. Reply, this is a hobby. I'm not funding a fantasy. Fourth image, text message. Let me know when you get a real job. The courtroom was completely silent. The judge looked at my father. Mr. Carter, did you invest any capital in this company? No, but did you ever hold equity? Not formally, but did you provide documented consulting services? He didn't answer. My attorney pulled the final exhibit. Your Honor, the plaintiff claims he helped the defendant secure clients and build revenue. Here is the contract signed 2 weeks before this lawsuit was filed. She handed it to the judge. The judge read aloud. Annual recurring revenue of $12.4 million. 3-year term. My father's face went white. The judge closed the folder. Motion for summary judgment is granted. Complaint dismissed with prejudice. The defendant may file for sanctions and attorney's fees within 30 days. Gavel. I didn't smile. I didn't say a word. I just stood up and walked out. Dad's attorney withdrew from the case the next day. The court ordered my father to pay $58,000 in legal fees and court costs. He never apologized. 3 days after the ruling, I got a text. You embarrassed me in front of a judge. I hope you're happy. Not, I'm sorry. Not, I was wrong. Just blame. I didn't reply. I blocked the number. Over the next few months, the truth came out. Extended family started hearing the real story. The foreclosure. The shakedown attempt. The evidence. A few cousins apologized. My uncle sent a short email. I didn't know the whole picture. Sorry I doubted you. Most people just went quiet. I didn't chase reconciliation. I didn't need it. The $12.4 million contract closed on schedule. We scaled. 15 employees by the end of the year. Opened a second office. I started a small mentorship fund. For first-time founders whose families don't believe in them, no strings. Just support and seed capital. The kind of support I never got. Dad and I haven't spoken in 2 years. I don't hate him. I don't think about him much at all. I just don't need his approval anymore. Some people can't celebrate your success because it highlights their failure. That's not your burden to carry. It never was. Here's what I learned. Protect your work. Document everything. Save the emails. Save the texts. Save the records. You never know when you'll need receipts. And when someone shows you who they are, believe them. The first time, not the 10th. If you've ever had a parent dismiss your dreams, drop a comment. What did they call your hobby? What did you prove them wrong about? And if this story hit home, subscribe. There's more where this came from. One last thing. Your worth isn't tied to someone else's belief. Not a parent. Not a partner. Not anyone. You define your value. And sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is walk away and build your life on your terms. This story is a fictionalized dramatization and is not legal or financial advice. Thanks for watching.